Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to another recap / review of Love After Lockup. This is episode 5, Surprises and Sentences. First things first, I want to say that this was a good episode. It was a nice, well-rounded episode. They talked about every single couple and the plot was moved forward. Thank God. 5 episodes in and we can get a good episode. Secondly, those of you who have been asking me to go live on Fridays when the show airs. Unfortunately, I work Friday night, so I cannot do that. What's on my lips right now is a combination of 2 things. I've got Chestnut by MAC as my lip liner, and I'm wearing a little bit of my Matte Passion by Milani. It's number 66. It's just like a matte, bright orange lip color. Alright, so let's jump in and let's start with Jonna and Garrett. So we start out this episode with Jonna telling Garrett exactly how she feels. Last episode, Garrett done messed up, stayed out all night with the homies, and then went to work, didn't come home. Him and Jonna had it out. He was basically saying that Jonna is his new warden and that he understands that he did promise her certain things while he was in prison, but now that he's out, he's starting to realize that he may not be able to live up to those promises because he wants to go out and live life. Jonna is just basically saying she feels like a fool. It hurts her pride to stay with him because she, for 4 years, defended her relationship with him and defended him to everyone she knows. And when he gets out of prison, he does not do the things that he promised. And now she has to go to her birthday dinner and pretend like everything is okay in order to save face in front of her friends. And she is not looking forward to it. He is in the doghouse and he knows he's in the doghouse and he realizes that he needs to do what he needs to do to keep and make Jonna happy. I think he also starts to realize that, like, if it weren't for Jonna holding it down for him, he might not be in the position that he's in right now. He's in a very privileged, lucky position that she put everything on the line for him. I think he's just now realizing that he might not be able to live up to that because he wants to do the things that he wants to do. When he was sitting up in jail, he didn't want to go out on Friday nights. All he wanted to do was be free, but now that he's free, he wants to go out on Friday nights. So I think that Garrett has a lot of thinking to do and growing up to do. I think he is either going to have to figure something out to where he can get out from underneath Jonna so that he can be who he wants to be without her lording over him as far as, you know, his promises, or he needs to just let go of the things that he wants to do and be the man that he promised he was going to be. I hope that he lets go of the things that he wants to do and be the man that he promised he was going to be. It's only going to be better for him in the long run to do that, but if he's unable to do it, then it's only going to be detrimental to them as a couple in the future. So they need to have a conversation about it. And I think Jonna is more willing to cut ties because she will be looking like a fool to everyone, including her dad, if this doesn't work out. So they need to work that out. So later on, we see a clip of Garrett going to the jewelers. He told his story to the salesperson. The salesperson's like, wow, I've been doing this for 30 years and I've never heard that, but this is the first time for everything and congratulations. And so, you know, Garrett is like looking at different rings and seeing how much the different carats cost. And I think he ended up going with something that was slightly less than one carat that he could afford. And mind you, he just bought that car. So now he has a car payment and this jewelry payment on top of the fact that he's just a server. So hopefully his bar, or hopefully the place that he serves at is popping and, you know, he can get those tips. So then after that, he and Jonna go to Jonna's birthday party with all her friends, and she says before they enter the venue that all she wants to do is just get drunk and go home and go to sleep because she's just not feeling this entire situation. So she immediately starts to drink her Chardonnay, get drunk, and, you know, she's opening presents, and her first present that she opens is a tiny little box, and she opens it up and there's a chocolate strawberry inside that has melted, and she plays it off very well, like, okay, I'll just put this in the refrigerator, you know, and eat it later, like, okay. And then he has the server bring out a bigger box, and so that bigger box, she opens it, and inside is a smaller box, and inside is a smaller box, and all her friends are, woo, they're in such anticipation. And she finally opens the smallest box, and it turns out to be a ring. Garrett gets on his knees, and he proposes to her. She is so excited. I mean, he completely made up for his entire week of shenanery by giving her this ring, and this is what she wanted. So we leave them at that situation of her being content and happy with his behavior. Then we go on ahead and move on to Andrea and Lamar. So we left off last time with Lamar being in the parking lot, like doubling up to to Andrea a little bit and being a little aggressive, acting like he's out in the yard with her because she's acting a fool because of his baby mama. And I just am so endeared to Lamar. So granted, now we are 2-3 days out of prison, maybe even a week out of prison at this time, and Andrea has gone home to Utah, and she's so happy to be around her family and her Mormon friends, which again, the fact that she keeps on talking about how she's Mormon, her friends are Mormon, how her Mormon lifestyle is just so, I don't know, better, comforting, I don't know. But like I said, I don't like when people do that, because then I end up judging them harsher than I should, or that I would if they did not tote their godliness as a shield or whatever. So anyway, she's in some I don't know, backyard gazebo looking situation. It's not a gazebo. She's on some backyard deck with Michelle. And if we remember Michelle from the first episode, Michelle is her homegirl who helped her pick out an outfit to go see Lamar. And she is another black woman. They met at college. She's 40 years old. And as Andrea rudely put, a 40-year-old virgin. I assume she is Mormon too, and is a virgin because she's Mormon and waiting to be married. And since she's not married, she is a virgin. So anyways, they're having a conversation in which Andrea tells her about Lamar's behavior. She tells her that they were having a coming home party, and then his daughter shows up and the daughter's mom comes, and that Andrea did not want to sit across from a woman who had sex with her man at some point. And I'm just like, you're worried about someone that your current boyfriend, who's been in jail for 18 years, had sex with about 20 years ago. Okay. And she tells Michelle this, and Michelle is like, high five, good for you. And I'm just like, I don't understand what's going on. I don't understand what is happening. They sound like two teenagers or early 20-year-olds having this conversation about Andrea's behavior being appropriate. It's just weird. It's not appropriate. She's telling Michelle how Lamar had a yard mentality with her in the parking lot, how he was following her around, and how he was stepping to her, and how he was being aggressive like a bulldog, and she didn't know what to do, and she was worried. And Michelle is like, you shouldn't let a man treat you like that. Did he hit you? And Andrea's like, no, he didn't hit me. She's like, well, if that were me and the tables would turn, and a guy did that to me, you'd be out there trying to key his car. So I don't understand, you're being that girl. Andrea's just like, don't tell me I'm being that girl. Don't make me feel like that. And my thing is, if you didn't want your homegirl to tell you were being that girl, why'd you even tell her your business like that? Why'd you even bring it up? Defend Lamar. It turns out that later on that night, he did apologize, and he said that he was sorry. But I think at the same time, his behavior was inappropriate, yes, and it was aggressive, and it was a bulldog. But that was her opportunity to help him be better. That was her opportunity to stop him and be the adult and say, hey, you are doing too much. We are not in the yard right now. I need you to calm down. Let's get in the car and let's go to the hotel and have an adult conversation. She needs to understand what she got herself into. Her and Mary and Jonna, they just need to understand what they got themselves into, and they're just going to have to work with their spouses in order to help acclimate them and bring them into the world as we know it now, and not the world that they have been living for the last 18 years, right? Come on, you guys are doing this. You are being with prisoners. Be better about your decisions. So next scene we have is Lamar and his brother. So he has been staying with his brother. His brother has kindly opened up his house for Lamar, so Lamar has a place to stay while he's on parole. And Lamar apparently hasn't been very open and honest with Andrea about the parameters of his parole. It looks like he's gonna have to stay in LA longer than she thought. And I don't understand why he felt the need to hide that from her, because let's be realistic. When you get out of prison, it's not like you guys are going to skip off into the sunset. There's going to be a buffer period where there needs to be adjustment. And I think it's so odd that none of these couples anticipated this. Lamar is talking about how he is going to skip off to Utah for just a second, see Andrea, make sure she's cool, meet the kids, and then come back. And what his parole officer doesn't know won't hurt her. And his brother, Dulo D, is like, bruh, nah. I'm opening my house to you. I'm responsible for you. What you aren't going to do is mess up the terms of your parole and get sent back to prison. He's like, oh, well, I'll only go back for a year, so what? So you would rather lie to Andrea, then go and break your parole and then go back into jail for a year so that you can say, I did what I said I was going to do for you, so now you have to wait another year for me. I think Andrea would be more upset for you breaking parole than she would if you just told her that you fibbed a little and that you needed to stay in LA a little bit longer. Yeah, she's going to be hurt, but if Andrea wants to throw away 6 years of a relationship because of the parameters of your parole, then she is a fool for real, and you need to let her go anyway. Like, she's just going to have to deal with it and then talk to you about your lying ass. Like, that's what's going to have to happen. But I'm pretty sure Andrea is not going to want you to break the parameters of your parole in order to go to Utah to see her kids. Like, if that's the case, then I don't know what's going on, and I don't want to know any more about y'all's business, and y'all need to just go ahead and leave this show, because I'm going to be a judgy Judy. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like to be a judge Judy. Yeah, so brother is like, no, I'm responsible for you. Your parole officer isn't gonna come knocking on this door asking about where you are, and I'm not gonna know. And Bob be like, nope. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's gonna have to talk some sense into Lamar, because Lamar is not making any sense. No, Lamar is not making any sense. I hope that Andrea doesn't give him a hard time for it. I mean, I guess he lied. I know he lied, but like, this is what it is. This is what it is when you date an inmate. So, okay, so then we move on to Alla and James. Now, Alla and James is a whole situation. I'm going to say right now, Alla is on drugs. I don't care what James put on somebody's thread on Reddit. Alla is on drugs. She's summing up with her. He has left the talent agency that he set her up in last episode to go get her. She's at a gas station throwing up. He takes her to dinner or somewhere. She buys a new shirt and a pregnancy test because she's been throwing up and people have been telling her that she might be pregnant. Granted, she's been out of jail for 2 weeks. Like, I don't know that morning sickness starts that early, but she has freaked herself out into thinking she's pregnant. And when she says that to James, you would think that he'd be like, oh man, this is not the right time for us to get pregnant. James is like excited. I'm like, what? Why are you excited, James? Like, she's not ready to be a mother after just getting out of prison for 5 years. Like, I am so confused, you guys. I'm so confused. Like, I don't understand why these people aren't rational. So anyways, she goes into the bathroom, changes her clothes, takes a pregnancy test. She comes out. He wants to know the results immediately. She oddly starts to fight with him and just doesn't tell him. And it's like, well, I'm going to tell you. Just give me a second. Why can't you wait? Oh, is this your military training? Like, why are you doing this to me? And he's like, why can't you just tell me? And she's just like, I don't understand. Like, they're just not communicating well. She finally just tells him that it's a negative outcome, that she's not pregnant. She is actually standing her ground though. Like, she is really unhappy with the way he is to her. And she keeps telling him, like, you keep answering a question with the question. It's like, you keep BSing me. I don't even feel like I'm in a real relationship with you because you haven't even told your family how we really met. I feel like you're ashamed of me, and I think it's all just too much. But what I love is that she is telling him. So at the end of the day, if their relationship doesn't work, P.S. we heard that she's already back in prison. At the end of the day, if their relationship doesn't work, we know it's not because she didn't communicate with him. It's because he didn't hear what she was saying. For that, I can say only bravo to Alla, and I hope that she can get some help and to get off those drugs, because I don't think that she knows how to cope well with life. I think that she started in a business when she was very young, and she just isn't good at like dealing with things. And she's gonna really, as an addict, she's gonna really have to learn how to deal with her emotions and what's happening in her life without substances. So then we move on to Angela and Toni. Now, she FaceTimes with him. And he's like, I don't know why they didn't let me out. I'm confused just as much as you are. And she, expressed her concerns that he might be playing her. And he said, you know what? It's the same thing with me. Like, you might be playing me. I don't know that you're going to be there and meet up with me like you say you are. And I could see that. That's absolutely fair. So anyways, they're Skyping and Angela's talking about, when is he going to get out? And he's just like, well, I don't know, but can you send me some money? I would be like, no, I'm not sending you money till I know when you're getting out. Like, she's just like, wait, boo, you're gonna have to wait. I'm gonna give it to you. I got you, but you're good. And she's saying that, people think that she's desperate, but she's not desperate. She wants to be with him because that is her mission in life, is to be with men who are in prison. She's an empath, which I don't know if that's the definition of what she is, but like, whatever, that's how she identifies. So like,